One of the hardest parts of getting older is feeling like something's off in your body, but not knowing exactly what. It's not just aging, it's often your hormones too. When they fall out of balance, everything feels off. But here's the good news. This doesn't have to be the story of your next chapter. Hormone Harmony by Happy Mammoth is an herbal formula made with science-backed ingredients designed to fine-tune your hormones by balancing estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, and even stress hormones like cortisol. It helps with common issues such as hot flashes, poor sleep, low energy, bloating, and more. With over 40,000 reviews and a bottle sold every 24 seconds, the results speak for themselves. A survey found 86% of women lost weight, 77% saw an improved mood, and 100% felt like themselves again. Start your next chapter feeling balanced and in control. For a limited time, get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com with code NEXTCHAPTER at checkout. Visit happymammoth.com today and get your old self back naturally.
All you homeowners have unique needs. Some feel the need to leave up holiday decorations year-round. Others have the need to use their garage as practice space for their new metal band. And because each homeowner has unique needs, Geico helps you get the right coverage for your home and what's in it. That way, you get exactly what's right for you, even if your needs are unique. Get more with Geico.
Hello, and welcome to the Love Samantha Lee More Than Just Pretty podcast. I'm your host, Samantha, and here we explore love, life, spirituality, and relationships through the lens of real beauty, the kind that begins the moment you decide to be unapologetically yourself. Join us as we dive into heartfelt discussions that challenge, inspire, and connect us. Are you ready to embrace your true self? Let's begin. What's up, family? I hope you guys have had a great weekend. Y'all, today's episode is going to be titled, I'm tired of being disappointed. I could cry just off of that alone. I'm tired of being disappointed. Family, yesterday I was in church and the pastor was speaking on, he was speaking on apathy. And apathy, I don't know if you guys are aware of what apathy is, but apathy is basically not caring, unbothered, not affected. And he was saying that people learn apathy or learn how to practice apathy because of being disappointed. That's one of the reasons. It's a symptom of being chronically disappointed. And so what happens is when you've been disappointed over and over and over and over and over and over again, you teach yourself to not care. Your response is to not care, not hope, not set your standards low or your expectations low so that you don't get your hopes all high and then you get disappointed. Like it lowers your risk of pain. And what he says is that when we teach ourselves to have this uncaring disposition, or we teach ourselves in response to disappointment, any type of disposition, like anything, like if you find, and I don't want to move too fast, y'all know I get so hyped and I've been doing content all day, so I'm already kind of on a high, and I pray that God leads me in this particular podcast because I really feel very strongly about this one. Holy Spirit, lead me. If disappointment in one season, if you were chronically disappointed, let's say you've had multiple seasons where you've been disappointed and you've been disappointed and you've been disappointed, and now you have a response in life because of that disappointment. Whether that means you set your expectations super low, or you don't have no expectations of nobody, or you just don't care, or you practice not caring, even though deep down you do care, but you tell yourself you don't care because you don't want to care. You don't want to feel anything. You practice a disposition in response to disappointment. He says, this is what the pastor said. He says that you have allowed a weapon that has formed against you to prosper. hear me and hear me clear. If you have learned a way to manage pain or manage disappointment to where you have either lowered your expectations of people, you have no expectations of people, or you've learned, oh, I'm just gonna not care. I'm gonna practice apathy. I'm gonna be unbothered. If they do, if they don't, I don't care, whatever, doesn't matter to me. If you practice those things, or you've done things like people say, listen, or people smoke, people take things to not care. If you have done any measure in order to respond to pain in a way you would not normally have because of things that were done to you in one season, you have allowed the weapon that was formed against you to prosper. That does not mean that the weapon prospered. Because the promise is no weapon formed against you will prosper, right? So whatever happened in that season, you rebounded from. You got over it. If it was a breakup, you over the heartbreak. You might be in a new relationship. If it was you were fired from a job and you were heartbroken about it, you got a new job. You living your life. You found out somebody cheated on you. You're like, oh, okay. Well, they cheated. All right, time to glow up. Time to glow up and do better, baby. Whatever. There was people that doubted you in one season, or you didn't perform as well in one season, and now you're practicing, you're doing what you got to do. You're really excelling. You're doing better. You looking better. Whatever that may be for you. Because I could go off on a whole different tangent. It's all different kinds of people that listen to this podcast. Whatever that is, whatever season that tried to take you out, you survived. Because you're listening to me now, right? So the weapon in and of itself did not last. We allow it to last, or the effects of it lasted, because in response to the pain that it caused, we developed a personality trait that we did not originally have. And family, when he said this to me, look, because I'm not saying this from a position where I'm better than you. I am saying this in a position that I'm sitting in the seat and I'm over here and I'm literally in church like, oh, you just punched me in the stomach. Oh, yeah, you punched me. Yeah, that was a hit. Okay, yeah. Okay, you hit me. You got me. Why do I say that he got me? Because if I'm going to be real, because I told y'all, if we're going to be honest, we're going to be in this episode or listening to it, connecting in this way, I'm going to be honest with you. I've allowed pain to develop a personality or traits of my personality. Like, I've allowed the weapon to prosper. I think the reason why it hit me so much is
owning a boat comes with a number of perks, like being able to say ahoy or land ho and not feel weird about it. So here's another perk. Geico's boat insurance offers access to the largest towing fleet on the water. And with specialist support from agents that are as passionate about boating as you are, there's so much value that you'll want to say, shiver me timbers, and not feel weird about that either. Get more with Geico.
Disappointment's like my main thing. That is like a Sam-ism, right? Like I've experienced a lot of disappointment. And because of that, I have a response to disappointment specifically, right? Where I lower my expectations, or I'm like, whatever, I'm not gonna have any, whatever, I don't care. Whatever. I am guilty of apathy. I'm guilty of practicing apathy or practicing detachment. You see that on the YouTube space, or practicing just having no expectations of people. Like if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. I don't care. You know, that's literally what I do. And when I heard that was actually allowing the weapon to prosper, I was floored. Because he's right. Because if I'm being honest, those traits that I've developed to protect me from others have also kept me from others. What does that mean? It means that it's also harder to reach me. It's also harder to connect. It's also harder to develop relationships. It's easier for me to abandon ship. It's easier for me to say, you know what, I feel or I perceive that I'm going to be hurt in the situation, so I'm gonna jump. Before you disappoint me, I'm going to find my way out of the situation, because I already perceive that this isn't going well. And it might not even be real. It might just be me being what we, in my head, and perceiving what you're doing or misperceiving what you're doing, and then making a decision based upon what I didn't perceive correctly, making a judgment call, jumping ship, and then saying, then I have a conversation with that said person, let's say 3 months later, and I had it all wrong. I've allowed the weapon to prosper because I was tired of being disappointed. I was tired of being disappointed. And if I'm being honest with you guys, as I sit here, and I hope everything that I'm saying is making sense, because I'm really just speaking to you from my heart. I don't know if I want to change. Isn't that sad? That the fear of pain, the fear of being disappointed, the fear of putting myself in a vulnerable position, it's like, I don't know if I think I'm okay with the weapon prospering. I think I can live with the weapon prospering, because I remember, and I have experienced and still experience the disappointments that allowing certain things, people, place, whatever, in. I'm still experiencing those things. Like I think the enemy keeps reminding me, and has been very loud in reminding me, like, you don't want to let nobody in. Remember this. You don't want to do that again. Look at this. If I'm being honest with y'all, it's like, when I heard it, I'm like, you know what, Pastor, you right. You right. You absolutely right. The weapon has formed and it definitely prospered. But I'm kind of not mad at this the way this weapon has prospered. And so I'm coming on here transparent in this moment, because a lot of times, y'all, I come on here and I've already kind of come to the place of the other side. I'm actually coming to you right here as I'm dealing with God, because I want you guys to listen in on a conversation with me and God, where I'm like, God, to be honest with you, God, do you want this part of me to change? Do you want me to open myself up? Because you also say, guard your heart above all things, for out of it flows the rivers of life. Maybe in that season, I let too much in. And you know what God told me, y'all? You know what God told me as I was having this conversation with him? Because we be having conversations. Obviously, I do most of the talking. He said to me, the last time, he said, the time you talking about, I don't know how to say it. It's funny because the way I feel it is very clear. The way I can't really articulate it the way I want to say it. But basically what he was saying was, I put you on game before. Like the last time you decided to keep going, you saw the red flags. You decided to continue to put yourself in that position. You did. Here's what I learned, family. What I learned was in that last season where I have experienced some things that I'm, still working on, right? I learned that because I'm trying to manage the risk of pain or not being disappointed or not allowing certain things to occur again. I think that I've learned that in that I've had to reflect on the entire process. I have to reflect on who I was and what I did, right? Because it's not fair to just make it about other people, right? Or the job or the institution. We have to really take accountability for how we showed up and what we did. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine and I said, you know what I realized? I realized that in that situation, there was a part of me that knew this wasn't right. But I battled with myself because of people. I'm about to jump. Somebody needs to hear this. Because I was looking for people to tell me what was right and what was wrong, right? So it wasn't, Sam, slow down. I was in a position in my life where people's perspectives that were more valuable to me than what God wanted me to do, right? So if people felt like that was the right school to go to, I was going to that school. If people felt like college was the right thing to do, I was going to college. If people in my life felt like grad school was the right thing to do, I was going to grad school, right? So society and people had way more value to me. So when my spirit was leading me or was causing me conflict with the decisions in my life, I defaulted to people as my decision-making authority versus God. So my issue wasn't that God wasn't present. My issue was he wasn't my decision-making authority. And so now, as I'm going in life, I see that when I have this back and forth with myself and I'm warring and I'm like, I'm talking about this a little bit, but we're looking for a puppy and there was a situation that came about and it seemed like the amazing situation. I mean, it just seemed perfect. The offer was amazing. I was like, I don't know, this just seems right, blah, 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 whatever. It was super close to my home. I could get the puppy immediately. It was going to be this, it's going to be that. I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is perfect. I called my friend up. I'm like, so excited, super excited. I go to this place. And as soon as I walk in, as soon as I drive up, I have a bad feeling. Just immediately. Just don't have peace about it. Drive up. I go inside. Don't have peace about it. Like the peace that I didn't have went down like 17 notches. See the dogs, went down another 10 notches. Right. And who doesn't like get excited when you see puppies, right? You get like super excited and stuff. It was like I could leave there and never get a dog again. Like it just was like, there was nothing about the situation that excited me, which was weird because I'm a dog lover. So me seeing puppies and not wanting to get puppies is like, that is the antithesis of Sam. Period. So I leave a situation and my daughter, no matter what kind of dog it is, I don't care if it's a puppy, shoot, it could be a hamster. My daughter's going to want it. Right. So she can't be the decision-making authority. I have to be, right? And so I'm going back and forth within myself. I'm like, this is the right situation because there's this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And there was another part of it that was just like a bonus. It was like, you're going to get this, you're going to get this, you're going to get this, and this. And I'm like, I can't say no to this. Like, this doesn't even make any sense to say no to. Like, I kind of am dumb if I say no to this. right? Like that's the conversation I'm having with myself. And what ended up happening is, like, just to, belabor the point and the details, I end up saying no to it. I end up saying, like, even though it was a perfect deal, free puppy, they were going to give me like all the things that I needed for the puppy. They were going to give me this. And I just had to do, talk about my experiences. I had to do that, but I just didn't feel right about it. Didn't feel right about it. Just didn't feel right about it. I could get my pick of the litter. I had a guarantee. I had like everything what seemed amazing. But I just couldn't say, I just couldn't do it. Just didn't sit right with my spirit. Just couldn't do it. So I'm battling, like I said, for the 2 days, but it was up until I made that decision that I wasn't going to do it. Up until that time, I'm calling on my friends. I'm saying, y'all, like, my friends that have dogs, like, what's the harm in it? Like, come on, why not? What are you doing? Everybody I spoke to was like, you're tripping if you don't do this. Everybody, every single person, every human being that I spoke to said, you're tripping if you don't do this. So I literally sat in the car. Oh no, actually I was in a workout. I was working out and I'm working out. And in the middle of work, I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just be honest with the person. And I was honest with them. I told them what was going on. And as soon as I was honest with the person about my hesitations about what was going on and everything like that, I didn't get a response. And something inside of me was like, no. As soon as my hesitations left my mouth, it didn't matter what anybody said to me. It didn't matter that everybody in my life was like, you are dumb if you don't do this. I was okay because my spiritual conviction was no. My God was saying no. And so that was it. I said no. Right? So days later, I find out why. Like, I find out all this stuff and I'm like, okay, there you go, God. God was protecting me. But if I had gone with what everybody had told me, which is what I would have done and did do in earlier part of my life, I would have said yes to something that God was protecting me from. Here's the point. The point of me saying all of this is that God was letting me know that at a different part of my life, I didn't have my ear towards him. I didn't know enough about my spirit. I did not practice my discernment. I didn't know what it felt like for my spirit to be telling me something. I didn't know what it meant to not be at peace with something. I was not cognizant. I was not spiritually as aware as I am now. And so he's like, there was a lot of things that you said yes to and that you allowed because you didn't have this connection with me. But now that I'm here, I'm your assurance. I'm your protection. I will let things go. I will bring things in. I am here. Because now that our connection is real, now that our relationship is strong, there's nothing to be afraid of. So you developing these strategies makes sense if I'm not around. You protecting yourself against pain and all these other things, that makes sense when I'm not around. But when you have these strategies in place, it gets in the way of me doing what I need to do, because a part of why me not allowing myself to hope for things makes it hard for me to have faith for things. And the currency of the kingdom is faith. I know I'm going fast, y'all, but I'm going to bring it back, and I'm going to drop it for the day. For those of us who are tired of being disappointed, who have experienced disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. And so you're listening to me, you're like, Sam, I'm right there with you. I know exactly what you're saying. There's a part of you that doesn't hope the same after disappointment. Yeah, I even remember the first time I was disappointed. I remember what it felt like. It was like a minor situation, but I remember it. Y'all might remember the first time you've been disappointed. And who disappointed you? If I'm guessing, it might be one of your caregivers. It might be one of the people that raised you. And how deep it felt when that happened. How deep that cut was. Now that I am where I am now, I remember that from that point on, I kept my expectations low. I didn't hope for too much. I kind of kept it very minimal. But yet if people didn't do it, if they didn't, even though I said I had no expectations, if they didn't do what I said I didn't have expectations for, I'd be heartbroken. But let me tell it, I didn't care. I didn't know, but deep down inside, I was hurt. I didn't get the happy birthday. I was hurt. They didn't acknowledge me on this day. I was hurt, but I wasn't going to say nothing. I wasn't going to do anything. I just taught myself to manage me, like physically, outwardly, but deep down inside, I'm still experiencing what I'm experiencing. So a part of us that have been disappointed makes it harder for us to hope. Having faith for something, it means you're hoping for something. And some of us are so afraid of having faith or hoping for something because we're afraid of being disappointed. We can't have faith. It limits our ability to see God in our lives. I brought up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego last week, and they were facing death. And they utilized faith in a crazy way. How, Sam? They utilized faith in the sense of, I'm facing being unalived in a horrible way. And I'm saying, even if he doesn't show up in this moment, I believe he will. But if he doesn't, he's still God, and I'm still going to worship him. And that matter, they're risking life and death. They're risking it all. It's for all the marbles. But it gave God the biggest stage to perform on. Because everybody was watching. Everybody was like, wait, hold up. I know we sent in 3, but now there's 4. Hold up. Y'all, we sent in 3, didn't we? There's 4 in there. Take them out. Take them out. It's a greater stage for God to get the glory. So God's like, listen, you limit me when you stop hoping. You limit me when you stop having faith, because you've been disappointed, because the enemy has allowed you to feel this disappointment. Now you don't take risks. Now you don't hope. Now you don't work on faith. Now you're working within what's in your control. And now you're this hyper control freak versus trusting me. Y'all, I know this has got to be a multiple thing. But I want to ask you, has the weapon that was formed against you prospered? Has it prospered? Has it created traits within you that were not there originally, that keeps you, quote unquote, safe? But it limits God. And it limits your ability to see God in your life, because you're in control. And as long as you're in control, he can't be. Thank you for spending your time with us on Love Samantha Lee, the More Than Just Pretty podcast. It has been a privilege to share the space with you where we celebrate being unapologetically ourselves. I hope today's episode has encouraged you to embrace your own unique beauty and the beauty in others. Don't forget to follow us and join our community on social media. Share your journey and insights, and let's continue this conversation. Until next time, remember, real beauty starts with you being true to yourself. I love y'all, and I will talk to you guys soon.
Owning a boat comes with a number of perks, like being able to fling your favorite fishing rod around. And here's another perk. Geico's boat insurance covers your boat and your belongings. And with specialist support from agents that are as passionate about boating as you are, there's so much value that you'll want to high-five someone. But not while you're holding your fishing rod. That's a prized possession. So hold on tight with both hands and keep it covered through boat insurance. Get more with Geico.